Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live.
Hey now, episode 26. I was checking the weather. Is this still a tornado warning or is it a tornado watch tonight?
Last I saw was a watch.
It's all red now. It just came across the computer. It's like, is that warning or watch?
Red?
Red.
Yeah.
Red's usually a warning, isn't it?
It was a watch earlier and it was red.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good. Well,
I don't know.
I can live with a watch. So
We probably don't have sirens out here.
we've got a. I'm not worried about here. I'm worried about them doing the graduation in town. So yeah, that's what I'm concerned.
He's not worried about you, is what he's saying.
Well, I think we're okay. A tornado couldn't find this place. Do you think?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So,
Is there a trailer park nearby? I don't think so.
but there's trailers in the parking lot.
There
Yeah, we could get hit by one. So episode 26, Tech Talk Live tonight. Joining us are Gino Bailey. Hey, Gino. Say hey, Gino.
Hey, Gino.
Okay, there we go. And Mike LeCates.
Hello.
And the always vocal.
Excitable.
Yeah, excitable. Woohoo! We got to talk about mic placement. Let's get that a little closer. No, I was trying to get you to move your mic. I know you're a lighting guy.
Hello.
No, that's wrong. Corner of the mouth.
Okay.
So, have closest.
There you go. You're good.
Yeah, okay. It's Dutch Hine. Hi, Dutch.
How's it going?
Okay, it's great. Sounds like you have a cold.
I'm
You
fine.
okay? You're fine?
I'm fine.
All right. Okay. Want to make sure. Colin,
Hey,
he's here.
I'm here. I made it tonight.
Colin the second is here.
Yep, he's back there.
And Katie's here. Katie, are you with us?
That's right.
I am.
Well, we have everything we need to do a show, I think, except people calling, which we need, and comments on Facebook. So the number to call is that's the cue for me to see it on some screen in front of me
There you go.
because I don't know what the number is.
Look at this screen. It's not going to come up on that one.
Okay, 302
We're going to hack your computer to put it on there.
302-491-6484 is the number to call in. It got there eventually. Need to get that window out of here. The weather's driving me crazy.
Yeah, he's too worried
I
about
don't-
Is he
tornadoes.
distracted?
Yeah, I'm totally distracted. Make that. I think I switched to it. That's not good. That's I need to watch Tech Talk to figure out how to do. Okay, we can find this now. I just lost it.
All right.
All right. So 302-491-6484.
That's right.
The email, and we've gotten a lot of emails this month. It varies from month to month, and I think people were off over the holiday weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because we got the majority of the emails came in the last over the weekend when I was not around. So, but I got them processed and we're ready to go. So I think.
You did your job, is what you're saying.
I tried.
Okay.
So the email address, so if you want to email a question, you can email it tonight. I'll be monitoring that. We'll get them on the air. Is
Tech Talk Live at midsouthaudio.com.
And the other way to contact us is to comment on Facebook.
Yep.
So we've been doing this for 26 episodes. Here's how it works for the next, 51, 58, 50 some minutes. 56 minutes, we'll take technical questions and talk about anything audio, video, lighting, staging, or whatever you want to talk about. And then the last half hour, the third half hour, we'll have a sponsor guest. Tonight's guest is Galaxy Audio, and we have a Galaxy Audio giveaway tonight. And you see the piece right in front of us.
Here.
And, we can show that off a little bit.
Who wants to hold that up? Mike, you want to hold that up, Mike?
This is a TQ6. Now, the cool thing about this is that is a little powered speaker.
Yep.
But it's battery powered. And it's got Bluetooth connectivity. So that is a cool little device. That's the device I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty lightweight.
It is pretty lightweight,
And it's-
not too lightweight.
Well, it's got a battery.
right. Yeah, it's
so-
got a battery in it, and it's Bluetooth enabled.
Yep.
You got a XLR or a quarter-inch input. Also, it's got an aux in, an eighth-inch input.
Yep.
Nice.
So the retail on that is like $99. We're giving away one of those tonight to the lucky winner who participates in the third half hour of the show. So yeah, that's a cool piece. Galaxy's had some great products over the years.
It's also an
Innovative
MP3
stuff.
player. It looks like you can
Yes.
put a memory stick in it, and,
And it'll
it'll
play
play
the MP3.
MP3 files right off it.
Which we should have brought like Dutch's favorite songs. We could have played them in the background
There you go.
doing the show, and you know,
And it's funny, I was kind of checking out Galaxy, and they've kind of really diversified themselves over the past few years. They're doing microphones and CD players, media players.
yeah, they got a lot of stuff.
They got a lot of stuff out there. Mic stands.
They've come a long way from the hotspot,
Yeah,
which
they
is a
sure
great
have.
product and still
Yeah,
around.
Yeah,
but,
we still use it all the time.
Yep. So anyway, I'm ready to get started.
All right, well, let's
guys-
get started. Let's
you
start
ready?
with an
Okay.
email. We don't have a phone call yet,
Okay.
so we'll start with an email. This comes from Jamie from Lancaster, Lancaster, PA, I guess. Quick question. I'm working with a new Queen tribute band, Champions. We put this thing together in the winter and have only played a few gigs, but the work is coming in. We have booked 9 gigs from now through October, all festival-type concerts. Getting calls from sound and lighting companies requesting our technical needs. They're asking for a rider with an input list and stage plot and lighting plot. The band will be traveling with their own instruments and a banner. I've got Freddie's mic and stand. Can you tell me the best way to respond to these
You know, I
requests?
actually think he probably doesn't have actually Freddie's mic and stand.
You know what he means.
Because that would probably be worth a lot of money.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah. So what exactly are they looking for? I don't want to come off sounding like a novice. It's a really big change for us all to come from a bar band background to playing full concerts.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, right now, Queen tribute acts are like hotter than fire. So if you've got a guy that can sing like Freddie Mercury,
Right.
and you got a guitar player who can play like Brian May, I think you should probably stop what you're doing and become a Queen tribute act because of the bands that have been doing it, their prices have quadrupled.
Wow.
I mean, they're in demand. So it's probably what's happened to these guys. I mean, they've been probably been a bar band, which is what they said, and now they're out, and instead of playing 4 sets a night to dance music, they're playing concerts. So that's kind of a different thing. So what I can elaborate on this, but most of the sound companies are going to want an input list, which shows what your inputs are.
And it needs to be a detailed list. You kind of need to sit down with somebody who probably who's a sound person, or give us a call and we can walk you through it, because it's every input. It's the kick drum, snare drum. Whether you're going to mic the kick drum twice, whether you're going to mic
An input list usually says what the input is, what the channel it goes in, and then what the device is. Like if you're going to mic it, if it's a snare, what mic you prefer, you're looking for. So I mean, they usually have that much detail.
and even stands, and whether it's a tall stand, a short stand, or
Right.
round base stand,
And then a stage plot that shows you where to lay out all that stuff.
it's a pretty picture.
And then a lighting plot that shows what their lighting needs are.
And an
So-
important thing, if they're a new band, especially doing festivals, it's good for the sound companies to know if they actually have techs traveling with them or not, because then the sound company can use their own discretion on certain things.
I don't know this the person who wrote the email, but I would bet that if they've been a bar band, they've probably had their own gear. They probably played themselves. So if they're in festival situations playing concerts, now they're just going to, and what he said, he's going to show up with his own instruments and a banner. So somebody else is going to be providing everything else. So that's why it needs to be detailed. And there is some free software out there that will allow you to draw your own stage plots. It's pretty simple. I don't know what it's called.
No, but I think there's even like a free website.
Yeah.
Really?
That's a very basic plot, but it's still something. It's better than nothing.
For a 4-piece rock band.
I
it
mean,
would
we've
be-
gotten plots on napkins, so.
We have a plot right now that was actually. Have you seen the Subdudes plot?
No.
Oh, that's funny. We should actually put that on the air. We should show it. It's a cartoon drawing.
Oh, yeah, I did see
in
that one.
in color. Yeah, all in crayon. Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool actually. So anyway, I think that's what's he missing, Dutch? What are we missing? What does he need in his light plot? What are you looking for?
I mean,
Power
I was going to say
requirements.
the input list, he definitely needs to get it with a sound guy because there's an order to it, too.
Yeah.
You can't just,
Especially if you're playing a festival.
yeah.
There's a-
And,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
they're
the-
going to change it up. Like, you're going to send an input list, and they're not going to follow it fully, but you need to at least know you need to do guitars, bass, drums, and, there's an order to it instead of just putting the
What do you
inputs
want
down.
to see from a lighting standpoint.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, lighting plot's really hard. It's just you just need to be very basic about it. Like, what are your minimums, and then what would you like, because they're not going to follow it. They just need to know what's the basic, and then what do you want in best case scenario.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's kind of strange with tribute acts because you'll see some tribute acts that are like outdoing the Beatles, and they'll want 20 movers. The Beatles never played a show ever with a moving light.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's purists.
Yeah, but they didn't go out playing on line arrays either and all these fancy.
Then there are purists that that are the tribute acts that don't want to have anything on stage that you couldn't have seen in that time period. So it kind of goes both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So
We have a phone call too.
Oh, we do. Okay,
We do. We have D, I believe. D.
Uh-oh. Hey now.
How are you guys?
Well, our life is complete now that you've called in.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate that.
Okay.
I should go ahead and say bye then. No point in continuing.
Talk to Dutch. Dutch isn't happy tonight. He's grumpy.
Oh, well, I thought that was Dutch on there. I'm not watching. I listened to a couple minutes while I was on hold waiting for you guys.
And that was him. That was him, which I commented on his nasally voice, and he hasn't. He said he doesn't have a cold. I think he does.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, this really isn't for Dutch, but I'm sure he could answer it.
Oh, well, there's no doubt.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
So cool. Hey, I think we got that Leslie thing straightened out
cool.
from last time.
Right. How did you end up making it?
Well, just like you said. And, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So,
Well, then, of course it worked.
So that worked out, and then we were able to clean it up, with the EQ as well. So
Cool.
it worked out well.
Well, very cool.
I was familiar with Behringer's digital line of mixing consoles. I used one the other night. I was helping a friend out, and that's what they had. It was like a X18 or X180 or something. The 16-channel digital
16.
board, fairly new from Behringer, with a year or so old, I guess. And the menus are completely different, really different than the QSC board. I was having trouble with effects, trying to do two effects at one time, like reverb and slap or some kind of digital delay or something at the same time. I could select one or the other, but couldn't select or didn't find a way. I was wondering if you guys had an easy way to do that.
What consoles are you talking about? Not an X32.
No, I think you're talking about the XR18, which is like their
the
newer one.
XR18.
Is that the rack?
I don't remember. I'm really only familiar with the X32 line.
Okay, so you don't think like the QSC, the menus are very similar?
Oh, I can tell you the menus are very different.
That's the main difference in digital consoles from analog consoles is that every console has its own operating system and is completely laid out differently.
Okay.
Unlike going from one analog it used to be the difference if you went from a British console to a Japanese console to an American made console. The difference might be that the British console started one on the inside of the console, so the thing furthest to your left was the latest number or the biggest number.
Gotcha.
But I mean the layout and the flow was the same. So if you could mix on one analog console, you could mix pretty much on any of them until you got into the really sophisticated stuff. But that's not the case with digital consoles at all.
Yeah, every console has its own workflow.
Everyone's different. I mean, you could if you know how to use an Allen Heath, it doesn't mean that you're going to know how to use a Midas.
Right. It's kind of like an Apple to a PC. It's kind
of
the same
I get that,
thing.
but the QSC, if you do the 18 or 16 or 32 or 30, whatever they are.
Well, they're all based on the same platform, and I would say that from one Behringer to the next, they're probably all similar.
Yeah, it's very similar to the X32 workflow, but I haven't actually ever worked on one to know.
I know you can have two effects going at one
absolutely.
time. There's no doubt.
I'm sure there is. I just haven't worked on that one too.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this would have been a good question for Dutch, actually.
Well, thanks.
If he were here tonight.
Yeah, if he were here. Yeah. If he were here, this would have been a good one for him.
Yeah.
But you'll find, inside the platform, most consoles are the same. So, if you bought into the Behringer platform, if you get another one of their desks, the layout's going to be similar, but not the case cross-platform from manufacturer to manufacturer.
Right, I get that. I was just looking for a quick way. I don't plan on switching, buying anything new, but I was just trying to.
Well, the best way to learn one
is
to buy one, and to have one there, and we could deliver it. We could do training. So
I understand.
And you're probably saying if they could do training, why can't we tell you how to do this over the phone? Just because we don't have one in front of us. But you can do two effects at once. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I would imagine so. I just didn't. I thought maybe you guys may have been familiar with it and could, tell me that real fast without me searching. I don't have it, and I just help these guys out, so I'm not sure. I'll get asked back, but you never know.
I did I did a gig on the fly one time with an M32, which is the Midas version of that console, and
okay.
I found the workflow to be fairly easy to get around. I mean, I didn't feel I got around on it fairly quickly after the first set. Like an hour in,
right.
I was comfortable enough to not be afraid to touch the console. They would all stop working. So
right, I found it to be the same way. Things are definitely in different places than I'm accustomed to, and
right.
It works a little different. But like you say, after the first set, it wasn't the end of the world. But we overcome one little problem at a time. I guess they purchased this with someone in their band in mind to run it, and that person's no longer there. So I kind of left them without any experience, trying to take care of it. So I don't know how I got involved in it, but somehow I did. And I know how I did, but. But
well, we could always help out if we need some training, so we could do it.
Yeah.
Somebody
obviously overstated my credentials to this job.
I can't imagine anybody could ever do that. How could your credentials ever be overstated?
Yeah, I got it. I don't know. Anyway, cool.
All right.
That's all I got going on.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. I hope. Dutch, cheer up, man. Don't let these guys bring you down.
He's texting away over there. He's got his own show going on.
You have all these Debbie Downers around you, and just don't let them do it.
We've got a gig going on right now, and he's working on a problem with the gig. So
okay.
But anyway. So,
all right, cool. I'll talk to you guys later.
Cool, man. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, I heard somebody calling in while that was happening, so they probably are not. We'll probably get right in the middle of this next question.
That's okay. We can always stop for a call.
Okay.
So you answered Jamie from Lancaster's question pretty well.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. This one comes from Richard from Anniston, Alabama. Hi, guys. I'm the leader of the tech team at a startup church.
Let me start by saying this is completely heavily edited.
Really?
Yes.
Let's go to the camera, Colin. Here's this question right here.
Yeah.
All that's heavily edited.
That was like yes, it sure was.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Big chunks out.
Richard from Anniston, Alabama. Hi, guys. I'm the leader of the tech team at a startup church in Anniston, Alabama. After meeting in an old theater since 2016, we just purchased a community theater property that used to be an elementary school. We've been blessed with this space. This space has been used as a performance theater, so it really suits our needs. We've been permanently installed our 2 video projectors that we are using in the rented space, and the plans were to begin a capital campaign to purchase new lighting. The existing sound system comes with the building and is in great shape. The consoles are a little dated but work perfectly. 2 Yamaha DM2000s.
Great consoles.
Mm-hmm. We just found out this past week that the existing lighting system was purchased from the theater company and has been donated to us. What a blessing. So we have a 46 source, 4 ellipsoidals.
46 source 4s, yeah.
Okay. 46 source. Okay, got
it.
With a lot of extra tubes. 12 LED cyc lights from Comar.
Yeah.
Not sure of the model. And 32 Venue LED PAR 64.
I don't know what they are. Do you know what they are in Dutch? A Venue PAR 64?
No.
Did you look it up?
I can, but it's probably just a silver PAR. A PAR can that's an LED.
Yeah.
The dimmer rack is from Applied Electronics. The console is ETC Express 2448 with a monitor, and everything works great. I understand we have some limitations. This is not what we were planning to buy with the money we raised, but this is really a blessing. What we really want to add are some more effect LED strips for a backdrop and some moving head fixtures, and from what I'm being told, that means we need to replace the console. We have some money set aside, not a lot, but right now around $6,500, and we will continue to raise money. That's the backstory. Now for the question. Could we get 6 moving fixtures and a console for $6,500 we have now? If so, what do you recommend? If not, can you make some recommendations? I will add this detail. I'm not a lighting tech and will not be operating the lights. We have recently gained a new member of our tech team, and although her responsibilities at her old church were limited to video presentation, she is familiar with the Light Shark LS1 consoles and said if we purchase one of those, she feels comfortable enough to get around on it. Checking online, it looks like the price for the Light Shark is $1,500. What should we do with the remaining $5,000? Thanks for your time on this. I know it's quite lengthy. My hope was to give you enough of the backstory to get a good answer. I will not be able to see your May 28th live show. I will watch the archived version and follow up with questions or comments. Our new lighting tech, Amanda, is going to try to watch live, so she may be able to comment or call in. I've told her you guys prefer the live callers.
And Amanda, if you are watching, give us a call and we'll talk to you live. But I think we can kind of take this piece by piece. So they're moving. They got a community theater that did theatrical stuff.
And whoever bought them all those lights is very generous.
And then somebody didn't want. They probably didn't want to move
46
those
horsepower
lights.
ellipsoidals is a lot.
Hey, we do have a call. Before you get into this, you want to take this call before you get into this answer? Or would you rather
this is
answer?
probably going to take a while. So yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's take this call.
Okay.
I believe this is Lester. Lester?
Hello.
Hello?
Yep.
Yes, I have a question for you gentlemen. Our organization has a guest speaker that comes in about once per month, and we've noticed that when we dim the lighting in our house lights, that it's a better atmosphere and the members are much more attentive to the speaker. But we need to do something to provide some lighting to the speaker to add to that atmosphere. Now, one of our members' son was in a rock and roll band in the 80s and 90s, and he has said he would generously donate some lighting that he had from this era. Now, he has told me these are Lico lights, I think is the correct word he used. He also indicated to us he has a properly working dimmer pack and lighting board. Now, the only issue would be these Lico lights need new lamps. Now, our question is, would it behoove us to buy these lamps for these older lights or to spend that money on something newer?
I mean, that's pretty simple. A Lico is still used. It's a standard fixture. A lot of theaters still use them. A lamp is about $17-18. If you're trying to replace it with something else, you're going to be spending hundreds of dollars. If you got all the stuff there, I would just pull the cable.
Unless he's got some really old Lico that, like uses 1,000-watt light or something. Some strand
a
Lico.
lamp is, if all you got to do is replace the lamp, it's pretty cheap. I mean, if you're trying to go LED Licos can be up to $1,000 a piece.
Now he indicated these were sometime in that mid-1980s.
ETC's been making the Source 4 ellipsoidal, longer than I've been alive, and it's still used on every show.
So they would be fine to use. We should just go ahead and purchase those lamps. Is that correct?
I would say. I mean, without seeing them, the only thing that this could be some huge honking, strand LED, that would take 2 people to lift and it would be a weird lamp. But I mean, if it's a regular ellipsoidal. If it's a big square ellipsoidal, I probably wouldn't want to do it with a long throw lens. I mean, I guess we need depend on what it is. You don't know what model the Lico is. I mean, Lico's like a term.
You just said Lico lights. They were
that's
rock and roll band.
That's a style of light, So that's not a particular model, and it's kind of weird because most rock bands wouldn't have used Licos.
But he indicated they had used them.
Maybe mini Licos. Like those little.
It's like a spotlight on each, like a miniature spotlight on each musician on stage.
Yeah, there might be mini Licos actually. If a rock band.
Are you still able to buy lamps for them?
Yes, any of those lights, even the ones that we wouldn't recommend using, you can still get lamps for them. Yeah, I don't know of any. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't know of any Lego we've ever seen that we couldn't get a lamp for. We've gotten some lamps for some really old stuff. Somebody's probably still making it. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like the way we'll go then.
Yeah, I mean,
That's really-
I think that's if you've got the dimmer, you got the lights, you got a small console, just relamp them and go from there. And you're not going to have if he's giving you the stuff, you're not going to have much of an investment. You can't really go wrong.
No, we were just trying. We had no idea, and we didn't want to spend money on something that we would have been better to spend on something brand new. But this seems to suit our purpose. Then,
If you want to take a picture of that flick fixture and email it to us at the office, I'd be happy to comment. We could probably even tell you what the lamp is, and we could sell you lamps. So.
very good. I'll have my grandson take care of that part of it. He's the one. He's the one that listens to you gentlemen every month. So,
Okay. All right. Well,
but he's a diehard listener. He said, "Grandpa will call and they'll know everything. You'll know what to do."
Okay.
You're done.
he must be listening to Dutch because that's Dutch knows everything.
No.
So,
Very good, Joe. And
Cool.
I sure appreciate your help this evening.
Thank you.
Good evening. All right.
all right. Take care. Is that Lester?
That was Lester.
That was
Yeah.
Lester. Okay.
Yep.
So now we're going to Alabama.
Yeah, Richard from Anniston, Alabama.
Sounds like Lester's maybe been to Alabama a time or two. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Before the war. I did I say that? Okay. So where do you want to? We're not going to read this question again because it would take half the show. So basically, they got a theater. They moved in, and then apparently, if you read between the lines, most likely this community theater didn't want to move their lights, so they bought new lights, and somebody purchased these and gave them to this church, which was pretty generous because I mean they've got some lights that are worth some money. They probably got a console that's not worth a lot of money. I don't know what these venue LED PARs are, but
Nothing too crazy.
nothing crazy. But so they want to add some LEDs and they want to add some movers
They
and
just want to add.
the LED like strips they
Yeah.
said for their backdrop and then add some movers. And they're probably right. I mean, I guess you can use a mover on an Express, but you would have to build your own profile. You're not going to be able to download anything.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I know you can use a mover on an Express.
But I doubt that software is still maintained. You're not going to be able to,
You're probably right.
So you probably need a new console and you need
Which
some movers.
they're doing the Light Shark, which it sounds like they're pretty set on the Light Shark because they said, "What should we do with the remaining 5?" So
Right. Well, what do you? I mean, I think the Light Shark's probably a good choice. What do you think?
for that price, you can't really get anything else, because it's the one they're looking at is an actual console. It's not just the core.
Yeah, you can still program faders and all that. You still have to have something to.
If
access
D
the
is still
software.
listening, notice that Dutch did not recommend an Obey.
No, I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't go like with all those fixtures. I don't think I'd go for a Light Shark. But then the next step, you're going to be spending a little bit more money. So I mean, if she's familiar with a Light Shark, go ahead. Just know.
Well, I think that kind of gets them a lighting director too, if she knows the
Yeah.
console.
Yeah,
Because
you,
where
can't-
she's
you
the
honestly
church that
can't
she
beat
left.
that price because even the other stuff you mentioned, then you got to have a dedicated computer, whereas this is an actual console. You just need some form of device that connect to a network to actually control it, but it's still all there in the console.
When it comes to 6 movers for $5,000 in LED strips, I would say save your money for now because you could buy 10 movers for that price if you really wanted to, but it's not going to be an impressive.
If
mover.
anything, like maybe 4 of the higher end DJ movers because they've come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I need
But
to know.
strip lights can get for the real effect that most people want with the strip lights. They're expensive, and
That's what I was
they're
thinking.
usually
That could-
pixel controlled. So the Light Shark doesn't do that. I don't think
What?
pixel like ArtNet for pixel.
No, but it's got 8 universes on it.
But a
Which is-
lot of strip lights are actually only operated on ArtNet anymore because of the amount of the channel.
They
count.
all are DMX still.
Not the stand up. The ones that people are standing up are usually.
We have
ArtNet.
our first argument on Tech Talk Live. Let it go, guys. Go ahead.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
the big. I mean, the big ones are DMX, but the ones you see now when everyone does vertical are usually the thin strips that you Cat 5 together.
Okay, yeah. But that's the thing. We need to know. This is for their backdrop. So, are they trying to create a backdrop? Or are they trying to light a backdrop?
I think they're trying to make. I would assume since it's a church, they're trying to make some sort of backdrop effect
I mean, they already have the cyc lights, so that's why I think the
with LED strips.
strips or the skinny ones, I would hold off on that because those can be very expensive.
I mean, I think the part of the section I cut out of this was he wanted, he thought the LED strip lights would look good behind the Praise team. I mean, I think they're trying to put something back there to, flash.
I would do the strips before the movers.
And you could probably blow $5,000 on strips pretty easily.
If you're trying to create a backdrop.
But what's the pixel mapping thing? Does that mean different console, or you?
Just have to get very particular with the strips. You'd have to find a more basic one that actually still does DMX.
I think the actual Light Shark might do.
That's true. The LS one might do. I've only done with the core so far.
Just give me 1 second.
We'll take a timeout.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, we've got people here on the.
You can do ArtNet on there, so that's fine.
You can
on the console. Yep.
Okay, well, so then you
need to do
got
strips.
8 universes plus ArtNet.
Yeah, so you need to do the strips before the movers. I would say if it was me, I'd save money.
And then what would your other budget? Can you get a decent mover for $1,000 a piece? $1,500 a piece?
I mean, I don't know.
You're going to spend the entire $5,000 on the.
Oh no! I said no. For moving forward, what would your budget be?
I need to know how big the space is. I need to know what they're trying to do. I mean, are they trying to do they want color mixing? Do they not? Are they doing color?
I don't think they know. I mean, I really.
If you were trying to get a utility light.
Yeah.
A utility type.
I mean, this is hard not knowing how big the space is, how many people are there. What's their Sunday like?
I'm just gonna say you probably need $1,500 to $2,500. Yeah. Just the starting. That's base model
per light.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
So spend your $5,000 on the strip.
In reality, you could spend $7,000 per light.
$6,000 per light. Yeah. And so
So the $1,500 for the Light Shark.
Yep.
$5,000 remaining. They're going to spend on the light strips.
Yeah, because you need quite a few of them, and $5,000 will get you. Probably, I think Elation's package. You can get 8 or 16 of them with the controller for around that price. And you can mount them however they're really skinny.
And then start saving for the movers.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you can do a lot with the pixel stuff.
You're going to get way more out of the pixel bars than you will the movers, because you can change it up, and it's your.
And with that, how many Source 4s do they have? They got 46. I mean, so they could do plenty of area lighting and all that. All that should be taken care of. They could even do stage washes with that.
If I was them, I think I'd be looking at trying to sell some of those swords new.
But if they're trying to create mover stuff with beams or something, just throw some gobos in there, and then you can get some beamage.
Oh, Tony Broadbent just said that Venue is a Guitar Center house brand. So it's it might be I bet it's
like $100 or $200.
Does it look like a regular par?
And there's different ones, so it just looked almost like a 6-bar, just not the same quality.
So okay, and you can't run movers on an Express. There was a way to do it on its big brother, the Expression, but it is not. Yeah, well, they're changing the console. So, and thanks, Tim. We got. I think we're good. So.
You can run a mover on any console if you really want to. It's just how.
Yeah.
It's just.
I remember you doing it on the Maximum.
To do it. So.
But that is not the console to do it on.
Yep. No. And I think they're.
He's right. That's why the Expression is the one that I was thinking of. That's the one I've used before.
Well, I think that's some good advice of how to spend our money.
And the $1,500 is a good. And the thing is, with that money, they're going to get a person that comes with it, and that's probably a good thing.
That can run that console.
Because right now, if this guy says he's not a light person, doesn't know anything about it, this takes care of both issues.
And then that's the thing with the money, the
Amanda
budget.
Chime in here. I'm just trying to.
You got to worry about the install too, because this is going to use different cable. You're going to need more universes, so you're going to be pulling more cable from front of house to wherever your dimmer rack is. So all this kind of has to be figured in, because you're also what adds up real quick is cable. Sometimes that's something,
and a lot of people probably don't think about that.
They forget about it until they see the price for the clamps, the cables, and it's just like, whoa, here's another $1,000 on top of everything else.
Yeah, good advice to think of. So that I think that was good advice there. Katie's got some online questions. Do you have a comment on there, Kevin? You're reading?
I do. I was looking at Josh Lynch's question. Okay. I can read that. I have an RE20 that has a slight hum in it. I've tried multiple dynamic mics, and it stays present in all of them. I've tried a hum eliminator, and it didn't change anything. However, if I use a condenser mic in the same setup, it sounds crystal clear. What do you think could cause the hum issue? with the dynamic microphones in this setup. I think he's got some EMI, some electromagnetic interference. If he's got hum in every dynamic mic that he's tried, and not in a condenser.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just the RE20.
Is that not what he said though? Right?
Okay.
No.
He said I tried multiple dynamic mics, and it stays present in all of them.
Okay. So he in the same mixer, same setup.
Yeah.
He's switching mics.
Is that correct, Josh? Correct us if I'm wrong. You can call in if you'd like. But that's how I'm reading it. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's how it's read.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he says he's got hum in every dynamic mic, but a condenser mic does not hum. I think he's got cabling issues, or the cable's in a path that's going by something that's, it's running by a transformer, or it's going by some high voltage wires or something. That's got to be it. What you could do is eliminate everything else. Try a really short mic cable, plug it right into the back of the console, and it should not hum. That would be my.
And then if you still have a hum or something like that, it could be just some kind of something funky grounding in the mixer that you're using, if you're using an older mixer or something like that.
But if you had a grounding issue, then that shouldn't go away with a condenser mic.
Condenser.
Yeah. I think that's. Has he commented back?
No, this may be. We've got a phone call coming in, so Katie's taking that right now. That may be him calling in.
Katie, is this Josh calling in for us? We need more info. We actually need more info from Amanda. Maybe Amanda's calling us.
Maybe. Is that Josh, Katie? Okay, this is Josh. Hey, Josh.
Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We're perplexed over your question. So you're saying that all the dynamic mics hum?
Yeah, sorry I kind of messed up the wording there, but it started off with an RE20, and that was the microphone of preference for that setup, and I was working on it, and I noticed it's not as perceptible to others, I think, as it is me, but I try to be critical with how stuff sounds, and it did have a hum in it, and I tried some other dynamic mics, some Shure mics and the like, and I had the same problem. And I happen to have a cheap condenser microphone. I just threw in there to see if that would affect anything, and that sounded fine.
Well, that would lead me to believe that the wiring is correct of the cable. Are you going through like pre-installed cables, or is this like going through just a mic cable plugged directly into the console?
It's a mic cable going into a what's it called? Dang it, a mic preamplifier. And it's going through some other equipment there, like a compressor limiter and everything, and then it's going into the console.
Because we were thinking I was thinking you had some electrical magnetic interference with the dynamic mic that they're more susceptible to than the condenser would be.
It's possible, and it's something I didn't really think about until you said that.
So it's
is
not
there any way to combat that, or is it just sort of like you're at the behest of your wiring that you're?
Well, if the wiring is pulled in the wrong, low voltage wires and high voltage wires should cross each other at 90-degree angles and not be running parallel with them, or you'll induce hum like this. So, but if you can't change that, and if you're using an outboard mic preamp besides the console, is that what I understand? You've got a preamp plus a compressor.
Yeah, it's going through a chain and then it's going into the console.
If you're introducing a lot of gain from that microphone preamp, you can also start amplifying whatever little bit of hum is on there. I'd take the mic with as short a mic cable that is good as possible and plug it in directly to the mixer, and then back your way out, and see where the noise is coming from. But I bet you've got a cable issue.
Okay.
I don't think you have a cable pinout problem. I think it's pinned properly, or you wouldn't be able to pass phantom power to your condenser mic. So if you're using, are you using you're using phantom on the condenser?
Yeah, and not on the dynamic.
Right. So that means that the cable's pinned properly, but it doesn't mean that it's not got noise on the line that's being induced from some other source.
Yeah, and which hum eliminator did you use? Is it like one of the power hum eliminators or an inline
hum eliminator?
No, I'm trying to remember. I think it wasn't anything fancy, and that could give me a false positive there as well. But it was just an EBTech hum eliminator.
Well, I will tell you the only hum
eliminator.
If he could say it, this is what he would use.
Sescom IL-19 has saved my butt a lot of times on lines that I just couldn't get a hum out of.
What was that one again?
Sescom IL19 just has a transformer in line, but it's saved me in some of the worst hum scenarios when you're in weird buildings with weird power. It just goes right in line. If all of Kevin, I would try Kevin's stuff first, but if none of that works,
absolutely. But it's good to know there's that option,
and it's not that expensive.
And we've got one we could loan you if you wanted to try it out and see. And if it is, we could sell you one. But you could try it, first if you wanted to check it out.
Okay, I'll give it a shot with the tips you guys gave me, and then.
But if it's common to all the dynamic mics, there's got to be a common problem, which is probably interference. So
yeah, good to know. Yeah, I am not an audio guy first. I'm a video guy first, but it's definitely something that I know is not right, and I want to try and make it right.
Cool. So. Well, check that out and see. Try the short cable like that, and then go backwards, and then. That doesn't work, get up with us and we'll loan you one of the pieces Mike talked about and see if that helps.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate the help, Kevin.
Thanks for calling. All right.
Thanks, Josh.
All right.
Katie's got a couple questions. Were they, Katie? Online questions?
Yep, we've got a couple ones. First, Jeffrey Adecora has some questions about an X32. He wants to know what the threshold is representing. Is it limiting, like subtracting the set amount from how much is sound coming through?
I think I read the comment there. It was he was talking about the compressor setup there on an X32, what the threshold does, and basically he was saying, does it act as a limiter? And essentially, it kind of does work as a limiter. We've talked about this many times, but
I'm not drawing any pictures tonight.
No, but basically that's you're setting the threshold of the signal when it's going to start compressing.
You change the threshold, and when it's above that threshold, that's when compression starts. If you're expanding, then when it's below the threshold is when the expansion starts. So the threshold is changing it changes the amount of compression by virtually how soon it begins to compress.
Right.
So if you want less compression, you increase the threshold.
Was there any more, Katie, back here? I think there was a.
He had one more question about an X32. He said, if you had to do sound for an already set up church with an X32, speakers and instruments all, and you just have to run the board, how would you guys go about it? Would you start a new setup for the X32? If so, how do you do so, or use previous setup and work from that?
Wow. It depends on how much time you have.
Well, I typically don't. I mean, if it's a church that's already set up, I'm typically not going to go change all of their wiring and setup. I'll typically just work off of their scene, but I'll save my own in the scene.
Start with theirs, save a new one. Save theirs as a new one.
Yeah, because if you start over and move a bunch of their stuff, depending on a lot of churches would struggle to put it all back.
No, Patrick, I'm not making another drawing. Sorry.
We have another question.
Tim Pierbolt has a student enrolled in his musical theater class next year who is deaf. A while ago, he remembered someone posted about the Sub Pack, which is basically a wearable sub that would allow her to feel the music for dance numbers. It requires a line input, so I would have to also hook up an IEM to allow her to be mobile. Do you have a different suggestion that might be worth checking out?
Aviom's got a new piece.
Do they?
Yeah. Have you seen it? Aviom has a new version of their butt kicker, but I don't know how you would do a vibrating device mobile. I mean, you could put it on the floor and she could move around there, but I mean it's.
But that's why he said the sub pack.
Yeah, and he was talking about
the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or he's talking about an IEM. Is that IEM going to be strong enough to drive something?
To drive the sub pack?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know enough about them.
Yeah, I mean
that's a
good question. We'll have to.
We could research that and find out.
Yeah, we can look into that and see if there's anything else out there. I know I
remember talking about this on the show about the sub pack, but I still never use one.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've done something in this situation, it's always been on the floor where you're shaking the whole floor.
But I mean,
or shaking a riser,
said the IEM
or a riser,
strong enough. I mean, the sub pack works off your phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's
probably good. Yeah, it's
and it actually contacts you. I mean, it's actually so maybe that's enough. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll look into it.
We will get back with you, Tim. Table that for now.
All right. Let's go to Paul from Pocomoke, Maryland. He writes in. Paul says, we've just begun rehearsals for our Easter service presentation at church. Wow, they're starting early, aren't they?
We didn't get to that one last week. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Man, these guys want to be prepared. We've just begun rehearsals for our Easter service presentation at church. There's a drama segment that requires 6 lapel mics. I'm having the same problem now that I had at Christmas. When the actors or actresses get close together, their mics sound kind of funny. It's a swirling sound. I heard this at Christmas, but that scene was only for a few lines. This time, 2 of the characters are wrestling and then embrace each other in a hug. I think the mics are interfering with each other. What can I do to fix this? It's really annoying because it sounds so different for that scene that lasts over 2 minutes.
You got phase cancellation. You got 2 microphones amplifying the same source, and one of them is becoming out of phase because they're so close.
The distances are different.
Yeah, and the best way to do that, the quickest fix that hopefully would work, is to put one channel out of phase with the other one.
If your mixers can do that,
or just change the polarity on the cable.
On the cable, but then what happens when they're not doing that?
Well, then put it back on that channel. I mean, it's a temporary fix. It's an Easter show. It's going to be done.
Digital mixers, you can do that.
Digital mixers, you can flip the polarity. If you can't, make a cable that does a polarity that swaps pin 2 and 3. That's pinned to pin 2 to 3 on one end, or from pin 2 to 3, and then from 2 to 3. So it's a swap cable.
Swapping 2.
Yeah, I'm not going to draw a picture. I have right now. I really want to draw a picture, but I can't do it. I said I'm not going to do it. I don't think
I would also recommend headset mics if they have to embrace in a hug, because then you're just going to get that noise.
Well, I mean, I've heard it in actors that have hair mics that get close.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I actually heard it.
I've heard it in headset mics too.
I was on. I went to a Broadway show on Sunday, and 2 hair mics. They kissed in the scene. When they pulled back, it sounded a little. They were talking. It thinned out a little bit. You could hear it. And I mean, it happens. There's nothing. I mean, you got 2 mics that are
right.
There's a 3-to-1 rule in miking, and you want to have the second. I've got to draw this now. Okay, the 3-to-1 rule says that if you have a microphone here, and you've got a sound source that's here, that the second microphone has to be 3 times this distance. So if that doesn't happen when actors are embracing or in wrestling, I don't even know how you would ever predict that. So you just got to start off with one channel being out of phase with the other.
Or even turning one mic off.
Or even turning one mic off and just mic them to
I've
one.
done that before.
There is a brand new game-changing microphone coming from Shure, and do you know what it's called? It's the Duraflex or Dura.
Yeah, I watched this video the other day, and I can't think of the name.
It is going to be game-changing. If it does 60% of what they say it does, and I've never known Shure to hype things, it will be the best sounding head-worn, over-the-ear /lapel /hair mic on the market. It's amazing. The testing they've done, all the R&D money they've spent towards this.
Twinplex.
The Twinplex has 2 elements inside it to take care of this exact problem. That's part of what it does. And feedback rejection is unbelievable. And they have sweat tested this microphone for they built a sweat testing device to emulate like hours of someone sweating into this and change the humidity. So they raise and decrease the humidity and drop sweat or water in the microphone. And they've also they built a device to actually just whip the cable and really fast. And they've made it's a brand new cable made just for this microphone. So. I mean, they made a lot of the MX153 has got a great cable.
Yeah, there's a cool video out there though when they launched the Twinplex. I encourage everyone to check it out because
we're gonna do a Tech Talk live. We've ordered one of those microphones. They've just been released. We've got one on order. When we get it, we're gonna try it, and then when we have it in inventory, we're gonna get a show. We're gonna schedule a show with Shure, and we're gonna all wear Twinplex microphones. We'll do the show with them on.
In here?
Yeah, we'll do it in here. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. If Dutch will wear a lapel, is it
we can get Dutch the headset model.
Yeah. That's not out yet. Only one that's been released is the actual lapel. But the lapel, I think, has the hair piece for it, and I had to show that on my bald head. Sorry.
You're not wearing that one?
Won't need that.
Yeah, I won't be wearing that. Yeah.
Gaff.
Gaff tape. Yeah.
Did you say we have another question, Katie?
We actually had a comment from Kevin Carter about the microphone issue. He said if you have an extra input, put the same mic on 2 inputs, one in phase 1 out of phase, and switch inputs as needed. He has done it before at the theater.
Yeah, but if you have a phase switch, then you don't need to do that. So, I mean, yeah, I get that, but you wouldn't have to do it. You're doing the same thing.
Yeah, you can move in and out, but
yeah.
Well, on some consoles, it would be easier probably to do that than try and get to the phase switch.
But you could leave it out of phase for the whole show.
Right.
Yeah.
You just run that channel out of phase the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be in phase.
Right.
Because it's mono, it's speech. You're not going to notice it.
Know it.
Nobody will ever notice it.
Nobody ever know it. Anybody past 3 to 1.
Yep. So. Cool. Okay. We beat that question to death. Thank you, Kevin, for commenting. I mean, that's a good idea, but if you can invert it, just invert it. Just be done with it.
Right. All right. We'll go to Eric from Dover. Writes in, has a question. I'm the head sound tech for Maranatha Fellowship in West Dover. My training has all been done on my own without help or being able to talk to someone for advice. I've learned some bad habits along the way. Would like to find some training books, videos, or a course to take on fundamentals. Would you folks at Mid-South Audio have any resources for me? I know you just hosted your event at Crossroads Church. Unfortunately, work kept me from attending. Would love to talk to someone about what is best for me. Feel free to email or call.
Lots of good resources out there online. Depends on what you're looking for. If it's Audio 101, I reckon my go-to book is to get the Bob Heil book, Practical Guide for Concert Sound. That'll start with the basics. And then you can go from there. Yamaha has a good book about House of Worship, and I think that's what it's called, the Sound for House of Worship. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there, so there's a lot of options. Any other things, guys?
I mean, if he's just trying to learn about a specific console or something, most manufacturers have lots of in-depth training videos now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it seems like he wants to start with the basics or fundamentals, but I mean, it's probably going to be hard to find a fundamental audio course that's online, but there's plenty of books.
And sometimes, in my experience with going to churches and doing the training, sometimes just having an outside tech come into your space and
Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484.
I'm good. Okay, we're back. We don't know what happened. Actually, we were just booted off Facebook. Did we commit a Facebook violation or something?
I don't know.
We went in Facebook jail.
Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah.
We are, and there is a tornado warning right now, so maybe that's got something to do with it.
Maybe the internet blipped for a little while, long enough to kick us off.
All I know is a picture of a tornado came up on my screen, and we were off. We were no longer broadcasting it. It was really strange.
Well,
we've done this 26. We've had 26 episodes and never ever gone off.
And that's actually pretty good for Facebook, you know, to not have an issue like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy with it. It's just now doing it.
Blame Zuckerberg. Yeah. That's what Kevin White says.
There you go. Yeah, he's watching. That's why.
Right.
Tony, welcome back. Thanks for everybody joining back in. That's cool. And yeah, I got a text that they're watching this at the Baltimore Washington conference on the screen. I don't know what hotel. Anybody know what hotel they're in? Are they at the Gaylord? Maybe not. I see my image on the screen. They should have gotten Dutch.
So we came back just in time to go to break. Did you notice that?
I noticed that. And our guest has already called in, but so I think, did we answer this question? I don't understand the question. I don't understand the problem. I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I think this is the first time we've been this perplexed.
I think I would love like a little video clip or something of it.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I don't think it's got anything to do with the two snakes. I think that
that secondary snake is like super cheap.
Yeah, it could be, or there's something really funky
weird
with the wirelesses. I mean, there's more information. This would require us. I smell a service call. So, and it's in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, wait a second. I don't want to drive to South Carolina.
But however, with a little more information, we may be able to dig into that. But I don't get the question. I don't understand quite what's going on. So we will try.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there that need to look at probably.
Sorry for leaving you. We're back though.
Do you want to call that our break?
Yeah, let's call that our break. Is that cool with you guys?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we will. We're going to turn over. Let's talk about this piece again. We've got this. We've got Galaxy Audio coming up as our guest. We're going to be giving this away. This is the TQ6 battery-powered Traveler Quest PA system worth $99. It's going to go to someone who comments in the next or calls in, preferably in the next segment of the show. And but we're going to be joined by Tony O'Keefe from Galaxy Audio. He's going to join us. Tony's been in the professional audio industry as a sales manager, sales director, and vice president of sales for various companies, Audio Technica, AKG, CAD Audio, and now director of sale. And that's just basically glossing over his career very quickly, and was also a member of. I looked the band up today, Tony. You're going to join us here in a second, and I cannot remember the band. Silverado, I think, was an RCA signed band, and anyway, joining us on the phone from Galaxy Audio tonight, we want to say thank you to Tony O'Keefe. Tony, are you there?
Yes, I am. Who am I speaking to?
This is Kevin. How you doing, Tony?
You are Kevin. I thought so.
Yeah.
First of all, you guys are just whacked out and crazy. I'd like to mention that.
Well, thank you. We don't usually go off the air. This is kind of an unusual thing, but so can we stop and
do it going off the air? But yeah, we got thunderstorms and flash flood warnings here in Ohio.
Yeah,
where are you guys out of?
We're in Delaware. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're having any problems there. But anyway, good to be here. The show's really colorful. You guys are pretty cool to listen to. And,
well, thank you. So
glad I could join you.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. I saw in your bio today that about the band Solero. I just want to talk or Silverado. Sorry, Solero. Where did I get that from? Silverado. So was that like a country band? Is that correct?
Well, it was pretty
alt
much
country, maybe.
Like it started out that way, but then it kind of morphed. It was kind of a cross between the Eagles and America.
Cool.
Not to drop like two great names.
No, but if you're going to drop two names, hey, why not?
Yeah. So I mean, that was the style of music, and
what did you play?
I was the bass player and one of the singers. We did a lot of 3-part harmony and a lot of great original stuff. It was pretty much a vocal band, country rock again. Cross between kind of the Eagles and America.
Cool.
A lot of fun. Really long time ago.
I looked some stuff up today online and read about it a little bit. And there was a YouTube video. I don't know if that's like a newer version of the band or if you were in it or not, but it was cool stuff. So.
Not sure. YouTube probably wasn't me because I was in the band. We're talking almost 40 years ago. Hate to give my age up, but there you go.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. This is what we do once a month here at Tech Talk Live, and we have a manufacturer that joins us in the last half hour to talk about their products, and so we'd like to do that with Galaxy. But I'd like to start off. This is our 30th year in business, and before I officially went into business, I kind of did this on the side. My first sound system installation, which was in 1983, I was installing hotspots.
Wow.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Unity Washington Methodist Church, they still use them.
Yeah,
they're still
absolutely.
there. They're still there in their choir loft, and that's been 45 years ago. So, back when you were playing,
45.
30. How many years ago since 83?
45.
Not 45. 35.
Yeah, 37.
37. Yeah,
Well,
okay. I can't count. But anyway, it's a long time ago.
The problem is, being in sales with these hot spots.
They don't go away.
Well, I remember. And now you got all kinds of options.
Break, man.
Back then, there were two options. There was the one.
Numbers,
Yeah, there was a hotspot with a volume control, and there was one without it, and that was the options. And now we use the powered new hotspot. We use it for shop boxes. I mean, we use them. There are radio in the shop. They amplify that.
People use them as monitors and keep.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. It's a great product.
Yeah.
So anyway,
well, the coolest new addition while we're on hotspots, because that is what created the company, and as a matter of fact, that was in 1977 with Rock Jabara, and those guys were a sound company back in the day. they were with Superior Sound, and they did a lot of concert stuff. Anyway, the Hotspot was developed because keyboard players, you know how finicky they can be, were complaining because they just couldn't hear their wedge on the floor. So the Hotspot was born, and now it's morphed up into a PA6BT, which is a 170-watt box, 3-band EQ, Bluetooth included, 2-channel, pass-through. It shakes, it bakes, it dices, it slices. So, there's a comprehensive line of Hotspots that's still basically the benchmark of the company. But as personal monitor experts, we've basically morphed over into a lot of in-ear wireless that we do extremely well with. And, the category we're going to talk about tonight was kind of like the powered PA systems.
Cool. Well, we've got one sitting right here, the one that we're going to give away. So, and we've already got a question about that. So, can I ask you the question, and then we'll get into a little more about this? Sure. Somebody online, Christopher Word, says, "Does the speaker support Bluetooth?" Which we said earlier that it did. He probably missed that. And the ability to link with other speakers to expand the footprint.
Okay, the TQ6 and the TQ8 are the Quest versions of our powered PA that came out in the last couple of years. They do not have the ability to link with another speaker. However, if your listener goes on to the Galaxy site and looks at the Traveler series, which is the TV8 and the TV10, those two speakers, now we're talking, Taiwanese built 96-channel selectable wireless, CD players can be put in, Bluetooth, and now you've got an audio link transmitter that can wirelessly transmit from the master unit to the sub to another sub Traveler. So our high-end product does do that. The prosumer Quest TQ6 and TQ8 do not.
TV10 there.
Got it. Yeah, we just put a image up on the screen of the TV8 or the TV10. Okay, which actually has the luggage handle on the back. It rolls around, and you say you can link those together. What kind of distance can you get?
Well, you can get up to 200, but in a wireless world that I've been in a long time, I'm really more comfortable with
modular.
About 150, and plus you start getting a little latency there. But I mean, these are used on football fields with marching bands, and
right.
They're I don't know if you can flip to a picture of the back of it.
We did. We got a picture of the back of it up there right now.
So on the top of it, you can put up to 4 channels of 96-channel selectable UHF wireless. They all auto scan. So big difference between that and the lower end is just a single channel wireless. This is 96-channel selectable. Everything's in the 500 band. You can add in the second slot a CD player. Bluetooth is included. You've got a voice ducking priority. As you can see, you've got a nice mixer on the back, 2-band EQ, battery powered, of course. And on the bottom rack, you're looking at an audio link transmitter, which to a sub unit, you would take one of the wireless receivers that you see in the top of this unit and transmit wirelessly to the other unit. So if I have 4 wireless, I'm playing guitar, and I'm streaming my Bluetooth phone through the master unit, it will wirelessly transmit to the sub.
So, yeah, you got a transmitter and a receiver on that half rack. You have a quarter rack of each. Yeah, that's cool. And that's battery powered as well, huh?
Yeah, this is battery powered. Depending upon how much is going through these, you're looking anywhere from 8 to 12-hour battery life. Obviously, you can plug them in. The big thing is to remember to plug them in when you're done and just trickle charge them. Biggest mistake everybody makes, put it away for 3 months, and then you can have battery issues. So you always want to, when you're done, you plug them in, and then you bring the plug with you. If there's ever any issue, you can simply plug the unit in. But these are, the Travelers are pretty hefty, Taiwanese built. An 80-watt, the 10 is 100-watt. And it'll just blow your doors off. Very, very high fidelity, high quality, and they're loud.
Cool. And we had some comments online that are saying that they really like the wheels and the handle to make it a great mobile piece. So that's really cool. So
well, it's key on those because they weigh, they can weigh about 35 to 40 pounds.
Right. Well, it's got to have a pretty big battery. How long does the battery?
Oh.
How long does the battery last?
He said
About
8 to 10.
5,
8 to 10.
6 years. It's just a couple of lead acid batteries.
Okay.
Replaceable at a battery store, and important to note, there is a pole mount on all of these units.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So what we have here is the TQ6, which is on the desk here at Tech Talk, and so that's like it's in the like the prosumer line or whatever of your products, and it's battery operated. It has Bluetooth. It has what, 2 inputs? Is that correct?
It's got a combi, and then you've got an 1/8-inch mini in, 2-band EQ. This is. I just sent this one out because when it comes to giveaways, this is something that just about anybody can use.
Yep, anybody could find a use for that. I mean, I know there's a lot of gigs that we're on. We could find a place to just dump a speaker, and somebody wants to hear, and you put that in there and just let it go. It's you don't have to find power
coffee
for
house,
it.
the yoga instructor, small fitness center. Tailgating before the football game, the house part, your parties at the house, you name it, it'll do a lot of things for you. Another product that goes with this really well that I should have sent you as well, and as a matter of fact, can I add it to the giveaway right now?
Sure, absolutely, yes.
I'll send you one of these. Can you go to my site in the upper right-hand corner? You'll see a magnifying glass. Click it and type in Trek, T-R-E-K, and hit enter.
All right, we're doing that right now.
Working on it.
While he's looking that up, you said on the other model that the batteries are changeable at the local battery store. Is that the same with this TQ6?
Yeah, all of them are. You're going to get easily 5 years out of these. If not more.
I will say this, Tony, and this is a problem that we've had with not with a Galaxy product. I'm not saying, but with other manufacturers' products that have been battery operated. Once the battery stops working, they no longer made the battery, so you couldn't. So you had the device, and we've got a couple powered speakers right now that all work fine.
Yeah, great.
But the batteries are no longer available. So. If these have been around for a while, and and I think that's probably the problem. They don't use a regular battery that's available from a battery store. So,
and we do, and these units have been out for 10 years. I really haven't had, battery issues are just not the issue.
That's great to know.
Pretty, we can get the model number. We sell the batteries. We always have parts, so that's not an issue. Did you find that Trek up there?
TR. Which Trek piece are you looking for?
The GT-S.
S is in Sam.
GT-Sam. Okay, S. Yep. And we're adding this to the giveaway. Cool. That's great.
Yeah, you see that?
He's bringing it up right now. Yes.
So this is just a little $79 unit, but I'm going to tell you what. These things are so cool. This is a little 2.4 gigahertz wireless system. Goes about 40-foot line of sight range. Comes with a mini. It's a mini plug, but it also comes with a 1/4-inch adapter. Point being, that unit, you turn them on, they pair. You plug it into your TQ6, and all of a sudden you have an instant presenter system. The other things that are in the box are cables. You can do video with your iPhone or your smartphone. It comes with USB chargers. Anyway, this is a really cool piece I just want to throw in for whoever wins the TQ6.
Cool. Yeah, that's
also, just real quick, you can also use them with your phone, and then you can stream the videos up to YouTube, and very cool little piece.
Wow. Yeah, that is a nice little piece.
So I'll shoot you out one of those tomorrow.
Great. Well, that's excellent. And we will make sure that we give that away tonight. So we're getting some questions here. A lot of people are commenting about how cool this thing is. And we answered the question about it being rechargeable. Let's see here. There was one other question that came. I think it was about rechargeable.
While we're waiting, Kevin actually modeled one of these, and we have a picture of that. So if you want to put that up, Colin, there's Kevin. Right
okay,
there.
There we go. Yeah.
I can't see any of this stuff. My video died.
This is that's the model picture you have online of the mannequin head.
It's a clay version of Kevin.
Yeah, that's the clay version. Yeah.
Oh, you got the mannequin head up?
Yes. Yeah.
That's actually that's kind of what I look like, guys. So kind of try to calm down. I'm very sensitive, man. Come on, I'm a musician.
There you go. Well, and if you used to, if I saw in your bio that you may have worked. Did you work with Ed Corvo in your past?
Oh my gosh, Ed.
God.
Actually, we passed.
God bless you.
We're not at Music People at the same time.
Oh, you weren't? Okay.
Interestingly, I was, and I'll just shut up, but I was watching your video on Music People, and I'm like, shout out to Music People and Jim Hennessy, who hired me into the industry.
Wow.
And I know Ed really well, and he's a great guy, but I did not have the pleasure of working with him.
Well, did you ever work there when John Davison was there?
No, I go back to, I don't know if you remember Buzz Goodwin.
Okay.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
But I'm talking, I was there in 1980. They were just getting going.
Wow.
Tune-up tuners and hot wire cables. There was 4 of us in this little room dialing for dollars, and Jim, that thing, I mean, and hats off to Sharon and John Hennessy as well.
Wow, yeah, they got a great thing
company.
going, and I became affiliated with them. I ran into the Music People through John Davison, and we became longtime friends. And then, John left, and Mike was there, and then now Ed. And so anyway, there's always been a good bunch of people, but JD and I go back a long time, and he was riding his bicycle to work and dialing for dollars. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, Ed Cuervo, Cuervo Gold. That's
Katie has a question.
Okay, we have a
one
question. Here we go.
Go ahead, Katie.
Yes.
We do. We have a question on the TQ6. Christopher wants to know how big of an audience it would support.
Well, the spec on it is kind of crazy due to some of our competitors putting crazy specs out there. Really, for me, something this size is really probably 75 to 100 people. I think we put a larger crowd than that. I see myself in a coffee house with like 50 to 75 people, playing quiet. So it's really, not for anything more than, coffee house, 50, 75 people. Presentation, if it's in a quiet room, certainly you're going to cover 75 people if I'm in a boardroom situation doing a presentation. So I hope that gives you an idea. Cool.
No, yeah, that's. It's a respectable looking piece, and it's the right size, for a coffee house situation or for a small, if you were gonna use this at with a lecture or to make an announcement, to a small crowd.
Or you're going to rehearse at your house, and I think
go.
to also throw in the reason this thing is $99 is because we were just trying to hit the magic price point. Look at the back of this thing for what's packed into that. This is like a $149 unit. It's just $99 because, boy, $99 we sell tons of them.
There you go. Yeah.
So it's a great value at $99 is what I'm trying to say.
No, it looks like a great piece. So we're excited about it. We're actually, I think when looking today, there's a lot of Galaxy products that we just weren't aware of. And even though we've been associated with the brand for a while, I wasn't really aware of what you were doing in the in-ear world. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit?
We do have another question.
Oh, we got another question. Hang on a second. Sorry about that.
Another question, certainly.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Adekora wants to know if you could run a keyboard and vocals through it at the same time.
If your keyboard has, an 1/8-inch mini in somehow, yes, you can. Or if you've got an RCA in, it's kind of a one-off piece. So you've only got, what did he want to run, the keyboard and his vocal?
And a vocal, yeah.
Yeah, it can be done if you have the right adapter to go the keyboard into an 1/8-inch mini.
Yep. Yeah, that could be done pretty easily. Mm-hmm. So come out of the keyboard and just go right into it with the 1/8-inch connector. Yep. Mm-hmm. So
and tell that customer they should look at the TQ8 because the TQ8 now you got 2 combi cables, you got 3-band EQ. If he's thinking of gigging, it's you'll be $249 without a wireless, but now you got 2 combi cables. You plug your keyboard into one, your mic into the other. and you've got a really cool little, coffee house PA. So anyway, in-ears, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
It is our largest category at the company.
Wow.
We are nationally recognized. I'll mention, the two big guys because we all know them, Sennheiser and Shure. Great companies, great products, and, priced accordingly. Galaxy Audio nationally recognized through every major vendor in the country, every major online in the country, as the guys that sit a couple of $100 below the mix under the Sennheisers and Shures of the world, with a great feature set. And basically, their name is Shure, and ours is Galaxy Audio. So we need to be priced better. But if we had done this next month, I would have given away our new AS950. It's on my site. It replaces the 900, which is a fixed frequency in-ear, with a 16-channel selectable in-ear system for $199. I mean, and then we go all the way up to 120-channel selectable at $399, the AS1100. Very, very popular, new in the mix from a year and a half ago, AS1400, 275-channel selectable mixed mono, and we could explain mixed mono mode to those guys that don't understand it, but it's an awesome feature at $499. And then we go up to a pro unit, that's on tour at $599, 640 channel selectable. So,
and what's the pro model number?
The pro model's the AS1800. Now you got 640 channel selectable. You can pass through to other units with it. It's true diversity. The body pack receivers are all metal, dual diversity antennas coming off of it. This is a pro piece that could be on anyone's tour. And basically, the 1400, all the units could be used in any club, any house of worship. Basically, Galaxy fills the need for the house of worship guy, the club band guy, the guys that want to get into in-ears to clean up a lot of that audio clutter that are created by Wedges Live without spending, $3,000 to do it. We're a great way to get in with a quality product, but it won't break the bank.
That's pretty cool. We're gonna have to check that at Infocom. We'll definitely.
Also, you're going to see band packs available, which is the perfect way. Band, you're going to get the same stereo mix, but you get 4 receivers, 4 sets of EB4 titanium driver earbuds, which come with all of our units. Everything's in the FCC approved 500 band. If you're coming to Infocom, you may not know the tip of the iceberg for what Galaxy's doing now. Huge wireless headset company now, large, very big in wireless, especially in ears. So anyway, I'm babbling too much. Go ahead.
No, that's great. We will definitely check that out when we're there. Gino and Mike and one of our other guys, Phil and myself, will be in Infocom, and I think we already have an appointment scheduled to come see you. So looking forward to that.
I will be there. I barely leave the booth. So.
Okay, we've got another question. Katie, ask the question for Tony.
On the AS series you were just talking about, Jeffrey wants to know what the distance is on those.
200-foot range on the 950, the 11, and the 1400. 300-foot range on the 18. Keep in mind, you want to do line of sight. You want to get your antennas out if you're planning on going that far. I don't know many venues that are want the front of house, unless we're talking stadiums, to be more than 50 to 100 feet away if that's where the rack's going to be.
Got it.
So,
I think that
great range on them.
Yeah, that's plenty of range. And do you sell any accessory antennas, like any helicoil antennas or anything like that, or do you work with other manufacturers that do?
Well, we have an antenna distribution system for our normal wireless, but not for in-ears because it's reversed. We state that if it's in the same frequency band, a competitor's antenna distro should work with our in-ears. So I don't per se have something that's going to group everything together. I should also mention that the rack kit comes with all of our units and gives you a bracket where if you buy a second unit, you can rack them side by side. But as far as antenna distro and paddles and all that, have it on the regular wireless, not on the in-ears.
Do you know, will like the RF venue distros work with your in-ears?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Cool. That's a product we sell, and I would bet they would.
I know like Audio Technica's kind of switched over to using RF venue distros for some of their stuff.
So,
you guys would do me a favor and try it for me.
Cool. Yeah, we can do that.
I'll send you another unit. Oh, wait. I can sell you another unit. All
right.
right.
There you go. Yeah. So let's see. We're running out of time. Yep. We got 3 minutes left. Okay. I tell you what we're going to do, Tony. We're going to take a break. We want to thank you for joining us. We're going to take a look at these comments and decide who we're giving this away to. So we've got not only do we have the TQ6, but we're also giving away the Trek GT-S as a companion to it, which is the wireless headset mic. So we're going to do that. We'll take a break. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. But I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on Tech Talk Live, and you can go back. This show will be archived. You can watch and see what kind of shenanigans you got yourself involved in. So
well, I appreciate you guys having me. I hope I helped out, answered some questions, and now that I've done this once and the butterflies are gone, hope you'll have me back.
We'll definitely do that. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you at Infocom. Everybody that's watching, stay online. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds, and we'll give this away. Stick with us. Thanks. I'm talking. I'm live. I'm on the air. Yeah, what am I doing?
I thought that's what you meant with "let's go."
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a bad cue.
When you said turn the mics on, I thought that's what you meant.
We're not used to doing this. So let's see. We have a winner.
I don't have the name of it. Oh, you do.
Was it
Christopher Wirtz?
There it is. Christopher Wirtz is the
winner. Christopher Wirtz is the winner of the Galaxy Audio TQ6 and the companion Trek GT-S, which that looked pretty cool. I think some aerobics instructors would be into that.
Yeah.
Some, I think there's a market for that. And the other thing we didn't talk about with Tony on the line, we get a lot of rental requests for battery-operated sound systems for parades, and we've not really had a go-to piece. And I think some of those the larger piece that he had would be a great go-to rental piece for parades, because that happens every Christmas, every Halloween. Somebody wants to put something on
another
parade.
Graveside.
And graveside funerals. Yeah, I mean that's hey, it's stuff we do. So you can put that. You can have that right. You can get or it would be great.
Beach weddings.
Beach
weddings. Also a good thing. Yeah, we've got a million.
I told you we were going to name everything you could use it for.
Yeah. The Dutch has apparently left the building, so he's no longer with us.
He's eating a bobby.
I'm glad you said A.
We want to thank everybody who posted and commented and called in and emailed the show. Thanks to Colin Walls, our moderator, Colin II from Master Control. Thanks to Caitlin Connery for posting on Facebook and taking all our calls. Thank you, Debbie, for taking care of us and feeding us, most importantly. And thanks to all the MSA staff on the panel tonight. We had Dutch Hine, Mike LeCates, Gino Bailey, and myself. The rest of the guys are out trying to make us a living, and we really appreciate that because they're doing the hard work tonight while we're sitting here and just answering questions. This is produced in part by Mid-South Audio Productions and Catch It Live. The opinions expressed on the show by the host, panel, and guests are not necessarily those of Mid-South Audio LLC, Catch It Live, or their associates. Anyone who has a problem with that should get their own show. And thank you much for allowing us to have this much fun. And we will be back in a month. And it'll be the first show that in 26 episodes, episode number 27, I won't be here. But that's okay, because I think we're leaving you in capable hands. Who's doing it? You guys?
We don't know yet.
Dutch and I are gone. Dutch and I are in Pittsburgh on a gig.
You can do it on the road.
So we'll probably call in. All right. Till next time, folks. Thanks a lot. Good night.